Hey, I'm Ramon Ray, producer and host of the USA Today network show, The Rundown with Ramon. And I wanted to take a few minutes today, to unpack how I produce the show. I thought that would be maybe of interest for creators, as they call us, or those of us who produce content for small business owners getting into podcasting and more. And how I do this is not the way you have to do it. There's multiple ways to do what I'm doing, maybe even better or easier ways. So that's one. Number two, I'm doing this raw using a tool, by the way, called Logitech Quarter, I think it is, part of my Logitech Brio. So just a little recording tool that I can use and switch screens and do things like this. So that's from Logitech, just to give you a tip on that. So that's what I'm using just to do this even. And let's dive in. So I hope this is of interest to you. Hope this helps you as you're on your quest to produce content. And right there, why don't I just start why we're producing content? Well, we produce content because we want to serve our audience. There's somebody in need who needs to hear our information or laugh or get help or get insight, or when you Google, how do I use a washing machine? And there's some guy or some gal teaches you how to use your washing machine. So we get that. That's number one. Number two, we enjoy doing it. Number three, hopefully we can make a living from it. Everybody needs to be compensated. Everybody needs to be paid, needs to make a living. And we can do that directly from our end users. Maybe they're paying us for access to premium content or some content. Or we have brand partners, sponsors who say, you know what, you're reaching this audience. We'll pay you to have our brand aligned with you, build that credibility and trust, and be a part of it. So I hope that tip in itself is very important. So let me dive right in as best I can. And I don't know how this will go because this is not pre-recorded. This is not going to be edited, but I thought to share with you. And first, let me just share with you the tools right there. I have a simple podcast microphone right here. The bottom of this has both what's called XLR, professional kind of jack, and USB. Nice mic. You can have the volume control on it, off and on it right there. So I just wanted to show that as well. That's the mic I use, a simple mic stand. All these you can find on Amazon. If you want, you can just DM me and I can send you links for these and you can get them as well. Another thing I use is a Zoom P4, a little mixer recorder. I'll show you that right here. Zoom P4 mixer. Maybe I'll have the time and I'll show this to you in a better imagery later on, but it's a little mixer and you can just Google that right now, Zoom P4 mixer, which helps me to mix the different tracks. I can go mute. Can't hear what I'm saying. You can go mute. I can have different volume levels of things I'm doing. I bet this volume is being raised a bit, echoing there, right? So that mixer helps me mix an audio. I can have an iPad or other tablet, my phone, of course, my computer. I have this microphone, which is mixed and things like that. So let me get, though, to the meat of what I wanted to show you today, how I do the show. So USA Today, the Rundown with Ramon show is about a 30-minute show, give or take, an eclectic mix of information for personal life and business. I sign up for a number of email newsletters and just scour the internet on a daily basis, regular basis. I even have an editorial team who just looks up great content from my friend Mark Schaefer, from Every.2, from Seth Godin, from Business Insider, all over the internet, entrepreneurs. So part of what I'm doing is nothing you don't know, nothing you may not have heard, but it's a curation of content I think will help you. But the secret sauce of how I do it, it's how I do it, how I deliver it, my special energy, the people that connect to me and how I'm doing it that I like to think is most important because the show's growing. So it starts there from there. And then what I do is I will show you, let's bring this up here, and then I save these to my bookmarks. So ignore the screen you're seeing right now. I'll just show the homepage of zoneofgenius.com so we're not distracted. So I bookmarked this. You see here, Rundown with Ramon, and you can see Monday, today's episodes. These are most of the topics I talk about. All I do is go online through blog posts and other things and bookmark that day's episode, what I want to cover. So we have Tuesday coming up here. I don't think it's all done. I usually try to collect 10. We have Wednesday, we have Thursday, we have Friday, a long list of things I can go back to. And that doesn't mean this SG is Seth Godin. I'm not going to have Seth Godin 4 times, but Friday is kind of like my overholding that I can pull things through for the other days. So this is where I store it. You have Monday and etc. I just bookmark little tidbits that I think are going to be good for you. And it ends up going here. So you see these are the bookmarks which have come up. Different things I talk about. And so when I'm live on screen with you, hey, welcome to the Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. I can see the screen in front of me, and I'm kind of not reading, but I can see the headline. I can see what it's talked about. And I usually spend a few minutes ahead of time so I know what the writer, what the blogger is talking about in that story, and I can share it with you. So that's how I source the content I'm talking about. So that's one. Another tool that I use quite a bit is StreamYard. So let me open up StreamYard right here. And again, this is not rocket science. There's StreamYard, there's Restream, other tools you all can use. And I'm not going to go to how to use StreamYard, but I simply do live stream, put that up there, and pick the channels I want to show it in. And you can see already here, this is today's show, what's done. Hey, welcome to a brand new edition of the Rundown with Ramon. My name is... The show's recorded, it's live, and remember the things I told you, you can see here in StreamYard, this now is coming. See these slides here on the right? This is coming from the slides I've created, and this is one of our interviews we had today with Maria Cho of Triple Bar. She gave some insight today to how she's building her company and things of this nature. So you see these things here, Issa Rae's success, right? You see that there. So how do I get that in? What am I doing there? Because I think that the visual is important and letting people see some things on screen, just like we see on TV. This is a show. So with that, there's a number of tools you can use. I've used Beautiful.ai. You can use Zoho slides. You can use PowerPoint. I've used a variety of different tools. And this one, in this season, I'm using Google Slides because they're easier, and I was using it when I was collaborating with my team. And all I do is, you can see, I'm not showing you my screen. Sorry, you can see this screen here. Let's better one. This screen here, article we did today on Issa Rae from Business Insider. All I do is screenshot their headline, and this is reasonable use, I think it's called. I credit the source, credit them. This is what a newscaster would use. Hey, we saw this today on this news channel, whatever, and they can show a quick clip of that. So I take a screenshot of that, put that here, and you see this here, Issa Rae Success Playbook, and we show that on our show and give credit to where it's coming from, Business Insider, and talk about and give our slant of that news of the day. So it goes along here. You can see here the slides. We have that, and that's that, which we bring into StreamYard. In StreamYard, you can bring slides into StreamYard. So that's the show and what we do. So now we have a fully finished show, which we've just done, for example, and now what happens? You see this little button here, download? We click download, and then I can download the audio, I could download the video, and I can download the transcript all from StreamYard. And so that's one of the foundations of how we create our content. So that's downloaded. I save that into my Dropbox folder. Again, you don't need to see Dropbox because you know what Dropbox looks like. But for the sake of this little tutorial, I will show you this. I have a little folder here called Episode Archives. There's it, right? Nothing that you wouldn't have seen before. We're at already over 100 episodes, and you may be able to see here, I have the different files. We have a MP3 downloaded from StreamYard. We have a MP4 downloaded from StreamYard. We have a PDF file downloaded from Google Drive where I did the slides for the show. And then we have the text file downloaded from StreamYard, the transcript of what I talked about today. This is why it pays to pay a premium for the tools and services that you use. So there's that. So now I download those assets, did my about 30-minute show, downloaded that, and then what's next? Now, I was going to rev.com and putting the audio from StreamYard to rev.com. I didn't realize that StreamYard could do transcripts. Just found that out today. I should have seen that earlier. They've had it for a while. Or it's a beta. But anyways, my point being, downloaded the StreamYard transcripts. I don't have to use Rev. I use Rev for podcasts and other things that don't have StreamYards natively built in. So then I take the transcript, and next thing I do is go to, I want to bring this up for you, go to Claude, and I'll show you this. Go to Claude. And here's Claude. I took the transcript, and what did I tell Claude? Create a blog post of this from a 30-minute show called The Rundown with Ramon. Remember, Claude is like a smart, what do they say, 6-year-old or 10-year-old, whatever. The more you tell it what to do, the better it can be. So I take the raw transcript from StreamYard, put this into Claude, give it a few prompts, and voila comes a reasonable little blog post. So there's that. So now I have all these assets that are being generated. And then prior to that, or somewhere in the mix there, just so you know, also visuals are important. I go to Canva as well, and you can see my Canva being brought up here. You can see the nice thumbnail. I think it's nice. I'm sure I can do better. If anybody has advice, let me know. Little thumbnail there. And now we have a thumbnail. So we're getting towards the process, and then the other part, of course, is now distributing across various channels. We have YouTube here. We can put this up, and I can do better here, but I have a thumbnail. I have a headline. I have the transcript, or the transcript summary that I'm putting here into YouTube. Got that there. What else can I show you here? I got, you see the article that we've done here on zoneofgenius.com. I just put this up there. That's WordPress usage. I just took some of that, the Claude asset, the article, put that into WordPress, headlines and etc., linking back to our sources. Got the embed from YouTube there. I got the Canva uh, thumbnail there. And that's the article on Zone of Genius serving our audience. We now have the article here also, this insight on, and again, our podcast is just growing, so don't even worry about the numbers. I'm not, I hope you're not, but we have our asset here on our podcast. Let me see if I can find that, how we do that. Again, I don't need to show you how I do that, but we use Spotify for that. And again, just starting out with our podcast in this iteration, but you can see here, well, that was another episode we did. Let me get back to the right episode here just so you can see how it looks today. That was, oh yeah, there we go. That's something else coming up later that I have scheduled. But details, click on that. And there you go. You can see there is our headline, our article. We have the transcript or the blog summary or the article's podcast summary in there. And there it is. And also what's interesting to note, I have that embedded, of course, on the full article. You can see here, and there could be better ways to do it. Maybe I should have a little player embedded there so you can play it right there. But you can listen to the podcast, click there, listen to the YouTube show. I have that embedded there. And that's what we do. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, I will tell you that, of course, once this is on zoneofgenius.com, you will see this in our email newsletter also later on. Some of you can use Constant Contact. Some of you are using MailChimp. Some are using Zoho. Some are using a variety of tools that I use. I use many of these tools. For this case, I've been on Keep for some time, so I put it on WordPress, Feedbolt natively, send it then to Keep, I think 2 or 3 times a week, and this will also come out in our email newsletter. So there's Ramon producing his Rundown with Ramon. Hope that was of interest to you, how I source my content, how I do my content, and hope that was useful. And it shows you, listen, there's a number of great tools you can use. The key is use the tool that's good for you. And I think I'll stop there. Can you do me a favor? If this was useful for you, if this was helpful for you, can you do me a favor and comment? Do me a favor and let me know that this was useful for you. Hope that was helpful. And I'm going to stop there.